We crossed the border into Kenya and continued exploring the Great Rift Valley. It just goes on forever. We came back to this area 50 years later. It hadn't changed very much. I think there were fewer animals, and the roads had certainly not been improved since the time we left. Otherwise, it was rather refreshing. It looked just the same. Sometimes we stayed in one of the lodges. Sometimes we stayed in tents. This was one of the lodges. We're talking to the gardener and learning all about how they keep the place running. We had had a little bit of rain during the night, but after a good breakfast at the Kikoraka Lodge, we set off and Katano managed to get us stuck. Not only did he get us stuck, he managed to get a flat tire in the left rear. So the ranger and everybody else helped. The ranger got out with his gun, and it wasn't until a little bit later we discovered why. There was a leopard nearby. We're all about to get in when the ranger said, "Hey, did anybody else see what I saw?" She doesn't seem to be particularly concerned, but she was certainly interested in what you guys were doing. Back in '68, we saw quite a few black rhino. Nearly every case they had birds on their backs taking care of the nits and gnats and whatever else was bothering them. The next morning, we took off for another adventure, taking just about every road on the map, and then quite a few that weren't roads and weren't on the map. This turned out to be our Lion Day. We saw 3 or 4 different prides. The big elephant in this group, according to the ranger, is over 80 years old. He's still in charge. That flapping of ears, I'm told, means please get out of the way. I'd rather you leave. Now this guy, on the other hand, was a lot more laid back. This was the night that we stayed in tents. Actually, they were tents on little wooden platforms. The rangers and Kitano helped set up the tents. We had a pretty good night's sleep, but the next morning, when we were having breakfast, Margaret told the folks that she'd woke up her husband, said, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, it looks like a lion," and immediately went off to sleep again. The ranger said, "Well, it was a lion." He said, "But it was just the male, and he was walking all the way around your tent. In fact, he walked around it a couple of times. It's the females I'm worried about." Just looking at them, who would think so? Mama had provided a nice, good-sized eland. Daddy had it, then the cubs had it, Mama had it. But what do cubs need before they go to bed? Just a little milk, and then presumably big yawn and off to bed. I'm told the eland would last a day or so, and then they'll be off looking for something else for breakfast. And the sun sets on another Maasai Mara day.